By the exercise of the will to be, we are not just beingness, but we are God in action. God in action is the Divine Mother. God in action is the Shakti, the energy that comes forth from the nucleus of life. To get anywhere in this octave, you have to be the will to be God in action. You have to be the mother, because by very definition, God in action is feminine principle. God in action is Shakti. That is the first ray of beloved El Morya. Now you understand how you can perceive in the first ray master one who truly is devoted to the Divine Mother in action. So you cannot even conquer this ignorant waywardness, this ignorance of the law, if you don't have the steam of the fohat, of the Kundalini fire of the Mother that will drive until what you want is physically manifest, will drive until the information you want is in your hand, and will drive until it is practical. And Americans are known to be the most practical people on the face of the earth because they always pursue until their inventiveness and their creativeness is physical. So it's the conquest of matter that we are pursuing. And ignorance stops short of bringing the ideas of God into manifestation. And there is an immense opposition to the practicality of the life as mother in you. It is so easy to be just behind the line of precipitation, never quite make it into manifestation with a standard of perfection that is worthy of you and your field and of our culture and of the level of our education, of our civilization today. I was amazed when I picked up this document. This is not just a pearl of wisdom. It is a divine document. And it documents why the mother isn't on earth and the divine standard of the son is not the standard of the nations. It's the age-old habit of ignorance. I'm going to read it to you. It is addressed to the pioneers of the universal intelligence of God. Thought in all its wonder must be governed, just as men harness the tide and the winds. This is being said by world teachers who seek to be the forerunners of the entrance of the Mother of the world into daily life. The Mother demands that we govern thought as we harness the tide and the winds. Each time we ask ourselves the question, why isn't the Divine Mother here? Why can't I answer yes to the questions I gave at the beginning of this lecture? We go back to the first teaching. Thought is not governed. Until I govern my thoughts, I cannot expect to see the Mother, much less be the Mother. First, it must be recognized that man is not thought, but that the power to think is ever a faculty of mind. The problem with our civilization today is that people do not want to think. This is willful ignorance of the Mother. They would rather take drugs and duck out of the tension required to think. Tension, the creative tension of cogitation, is too much to bear. People are lazy, and they want to be sheltered from confrontation, from challenge, from those moments when we must exert enough light and enough mental will to oppose that which comes against that activation, that activity of the mind of God. Look at the national epidemic of people with headsets playing rock music. They are losing the will to think. And can you tell me, when you have lost that will, what will is there behind that will? Is not that the very first will we have to survive? If you can't think, or you won't think, you won't even perceive danger to the preservation of your physical life. You'll walk into a manhole with your headsets on, listening to rock music. And probably the ones who do that will be just as happy to be put out of commission permanently, so they don't have to daily confront the necessity of waging a war in order to think clearly. The war against sugar, alcohol, nicotine, tobacco, drugs, bombardment of the media, rock music, noise. There is a war when you sit down at your desk, in your home, at your place of study, and you are compelled to think, and the thinking that is needed is the thinking that is going to result in your acquiring a greater manifestation of your real self, an apprehension of it. The thinking that is going beyond and pushing back the barriers of density. All of hell breaks loose to stop you from that creative process, that creative moment. This is why the world teachers are saying thought must be governed. And the power to think is a faculty of mind.